Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to the new topic. Today I would like to introduce you the new topic that is about dear changes prospers. In Vietnamese we understand that it is người tinh tấn. This topic is directly to the Dhammapada, verse number 24, as the Buddha says, Attha navato satimato suchikamasa nisamma karino sanyatatsacha dhamma chivino apamattasa yaso pivattati. Meaning in English, whoever is energetic, mindful, pure in conduct, discriminating, self-restraint, right living, vigilant, his fame steadily increase. This means we can understand that this verse is the Dhammapada, once again, the word number 24, which teach that success and good reputations come from inner discipline, not luck or wealth. This is the real Buddhist teachings in the Dhammapada. We can simply summarize as a person who energetic, works diligently and never give up, mindful, stay away from thoughts, words and actions, pure in conduct, behave honestly and ethically, discerning, think carefully before acting, shall restrain, control desires and emotions, right living, earn the living and live righteously. Vigilant is always careful and avoid negligence. Well steady and respect honors and a good reputation. From the energetic teachings or conduct to the vigilance, now we can call like energetic, mindful, pure in conduct, discerning, self-restraint, right labelings, and vigilance are the factor required to become the energetic prosperous. One who wishes to become the happy and prosperous. We can follow this. And the main lesson here, the Buddha would like to send a message to us that pure prosperities come from diligence, mindfulness, morality, wisdom, and self-discipline. A person got names cross naturally through wholesome action. Especially, don't forget to be creative and innovative through your own wholesome deed. One sentence takeaways: live diligently, mindfully, and righteously, and your honors will naturally increase. This is the inner truth or the universal truth that the Buddha take to all of us. Now I would like to demonstrate this verse number 24 through a stories of the voice of a rich man, Gompa Kosaka. The stories have the contents as follows. At one time, a plague broke out in the cities of Rajagaha. A city banker, his wife, and the other members of his household also succumbed to the disease. When they were brought down with the disease, the couple told their young son, Kampa Kosaka, to leave them and flee from the house and to return only after the plague had subsided. They also told him that they had some valuable treasures buried at a certain place. The son did as he was told and stayed away from the city. Finally, after a long absence, he decided to return to the city. By that time, nobody in the city could recognize him. He went to the place where his parents had said the treasures was hidden and found it intact. But he realized that if he were to unearth the buried treasures, people may think a poor young man has become wealthy by wrongful means, and that he may be reported to the king. In that case, his property would be confiscated. So he decided not to unearth the treasures and went to look for work to support himself. He was given the jobs of walking up and rushing the people early in the mornings and of going around announcing that it was time to prepare food, time to pleat carts, chalk, the bullocks, and similar chores. He was a king of town criers whose service was necessary in the absence of clock and alarm. One morning, King Pimpisaras heard him. The king too was the king who was very good at judging characters by listening to his voice commanded. This is the voice of the man of great wealth. A female attendant, hearing the king remark, sent someone to investigate. She reported that the youth was only hirelings of the laborers. In spite of this report, the king repeated the same remarks on 2 subsequent days. Second inquiries was made, but with the same result. The attendant thought that it was very strange, so he requested the king's permission to go and investigate the matter personally. Discussed as peasant, the attendants and her daughter sent out for the homes of the laborers. Seeing that they were travelers, they asked for shelters and were given accommodations in his house. They managed to prolong their stay there during the period. The king proclaimed twice that a certain ceremonies must be performed in the localities where the laborer live, and thus every household must make contribution. Kumpakosakas had no ready cash for much and occasion, so he was forced to get some gold coins from his treasures. As these coins were handed over, the attendant substituted them with her own money and sent the coins to the king. After some time, she sent a message to the king asking him to send some men and summon the young man to the court. Kumpakosakas very reluctantly went along with the men. The attendants and her daughters also went to the palace ahead of him. At the palace, the king told him to tell the truth and gave him the assurance that he would not be harmed if he were innocent. He then admitted that those gold coins were his, and also that he was the son of the city bankers of Ratchakahas, who had died in the plague years ago. He further revealed the place where the treasures was hidden. Subsequently, all the various treasures was brought to the palace. The king appointed him to his father's position as the city bankers and gave him one of the daughters in marriage. Afterward, taking Kumpakosakas along with him, the king went to pay homage to the Buddhas at the Veluvana monasteries and taught him how the youth, those rakes, had earned his livings as a servant of the laborers, and how he had appointed the youth as the bankers because he was impressed by the young man's willingness to do even the most menial of jobs. When he was introduced to the Buddha, the Blessed One described the characteristics of those who can be prosperous. And because we still have more time, I would continue to the next verse in Dhammapadas, the verse number 25. By their efforts, the wild creates their own heaven. This story also supports the ideas of the energetic prosper because it's in the same group. This verse number 25, the Buddha says in Pali term, Ottane napamatena, sanyamena tamena cha, tipang kairata methavi yang oko napi kirati. By sustained pause, earnestness, disciplines, and self-controls. This verse is demonstrated by stories of how the adult attained sainthood. The stories of Jola Pantaka. A certain banker had two grandsons named Maha Pantakas and Jola Pantaka. Maha Pantaka, being the elder, his grandfathers to listen to religious discourse. Later, Maha Pantaka joined the holy orders and in the course of time become an arahant. Jola Pantaka followed his brothers and also become a bhikkhu. But because in a previous existence, Jola Pantaka had made fun of a bhikkhu who was very dull. He was born in adolescence in the present existence. He could not even memorize one verse in 4 months. Mahapantaka then suggested it would be better for his brother to leave the holy order. One day, Chiwaka, the doctors invited the Buddhas and the resident bhikkhus to his house for alms food. Jola Pantaka's name was not on the list of the bhikkhus who could go. When he learned about this, he was very depressed and decided to return to the lives of a householder. Knowing his attentions, the Buddha made him sit in front of the monasteries where the Buddha was residing at that time. He was given a clean piece of clothes and told to sit where facing the east and to simply rub the piece of cloth. At the same time, he was to repeat the word Racho Haranang again, Racho Haranang, which means taking up impurity. The Buddha then went to the residence of Chiwaka, accompanied by bhikkhus who had been selected by his brothers. When the Buddha was away, Jola Pantaka went on rubbing the piece of cloth diligently all the time, muttering the word Racho Haranang. So very soon the clothes become so. Seeing this change in the conditions of the clothes, his previous good karma finally bore fruits, and he came to realize the impermanent natures of all conditioned things. From the house of Chivakas, the Buddha, through his supernormal powers, learns about the progress of these young bhikkhus. He sent forth a radiance so that the Buddha appeared to be sitting in front of him, saying, "It is not the piece of cloth alone that is made dirty by the dust. Within one also there exists the dust of passion, raka, the dust of ill will, dosa, and the dust of ignorance, moha." That is to say, the ignorance of the Four Noble Truths. Only by removing this can one achieve one's goals and attain sunhood. Cholapantaka understood the message and continues meditating, and in a short while attained arahanthood, together with extraordinary knowledge and mental power. At the house of Chivakas, there was about the pure water into the bowls as a symbol of offerings, but the Buddha covers the bowls with his hands to prevent the offerings and asks, "Are there any bhikkhus left at monasteries?" On being told us there were none, the Buddha replied us there was once and directed them to fetch Cholapantaka from the monasteries. When the messengers from the house of Chivakas arrived at the monasteries, he found not only one bhikkhus, but a large number of bhikkhus, all identical. They had all been created by Cholapantaka, who by now possessed supernormal powers. The messengers were baffled, and he reported the matter to Chivakas. The managers was sent to the monasteries for the second time and was instructed to say that the Buddha summoned the bhikkhus by the names of Cholapantaka. But when he delivers the message, many voices responded, "I am Cholapantaka." Again, baffled, he returns for the second time. Then he was sent to the monasteries for the third time. This time he was instructed to get hold of the bhikkhus who first said that he was Cholapantaka. As soon as he got hold of that bhikkhus, all the rest disappears, and Cholapantaka accompanied the messengers to the house of Chivakas after the meal. As directed by the Buddha, Cholapantaka delivers a religious discourse confidently. Later, when the subjects of Cholapantaka cropped up among the bhikkhus, the Buddha said that one who was diligent and steadfast in his strivings would certainly attain arahanthood. Now, the stories of Cholapantaka is in, but I would like to explain the word arahanthood here. Arahanthood here in the stories, it means that we must understand that Jolapantakas did not attain arahanthood in a short period. He had prepared himself over many lifetimes. The Buddha helped him to remove his residual impurities and finally release his mind from the defilement created by ignorance. It really means that actually Jolapantakas would attain the arahanthood early than that, but because of the ignorance of the Venerable truth name here, because of the patience, raka, because of ignorance, moha, because of ill will, tosa, to delay his seeing the Dharma, to delays of his arahanthood. Now, the lesson here, all of us also have the Buddha potentials or the arahanthood seed, but why we still, as a human beings, and we still not seeing the Dharma, or we still not attain, so we still not approach the enlightenment, we still not release ourselves from all kinds of suffering. We according to this story, because of the dust of the patience, because of the dust of ill will, because of the dust of ignorance, moha. So on the way to reach or to see the Dharma, to see the Buddha, or to get freedom from minds, or to get freedom through the wisdom, it's really mean that we are going to abandon or to clean the dust of patience, the dust of ill will, and the dust of ignorance in our minds. And one day, the rakas, the tosas, and the moha are clean, so that we can get freedom and attain arahanthood, as the stories of Jolapantaka. So time is up. I wish all of you to release all kinds of your suffering, free from the physical and mental suffering, free from all kinds of pains, and at the end of your life, I wish all of you be free from your own raka, tosa, and moha soon. Namo Buddhaya.